wasn't really even sure if I wanted to make a video today. Do you ever feel like you're just kind of in a funk and feel like you're on this repeat cycle where you just can't seem to get out of this ebb and flow? And I know that's normal human nature and how things work, but it just seems like the ebb sometimes seems like it's longer lasting than the flow. And I don't know if it's because I'm feeling the world lack or world stresses, and if that's compounding how I'm feeling and feeling like there's lack in our world right now. And I know those things don't last, I know they don't last, but it just feels like we're constantly in this cycle of, just having enough, just having enough to get by, or just having enough to take care of everything. And don't get me wrong, I am so grateful for the things that I have and the things that, the privileges that we have, living where we live and everything. And I know that we have everything we need in this very moment. However, it just feels like, especially this year, there's just a lot of lack. And it just feels like there's a lot of hardship. And when you're constantly in this back and forth, and it feels like there's more, like I said, negative than positive. And you constantly have to look for the positive, and you constantly have to seek it. Sometimes it just gets old. Sometimes it just feels like it's overwhelming and too much, and you just need a break, need a mental break, and you just need to go out for a walk and enjoy this beautiful nature. I already feel better just being out here. Or talk to somebody, that's uplifting, or, realize that there's other people that have it much harder than you do. But sometimes when you're in that spot or in that place, it's hard for you to think outside of where you're at in this moment, and it's okay. It's okay to process the emotions that you're going through, because it's actually better than trying to push them down and trying to create distractions for yourself. Because what happens is when you actually feel the feelings and the emotions that are coming up during this time of frustration or sadness or grief or fear, when you're processing those emotions, you're making room for a new reality. And you're making room to be open to new things. And when you're stuck, it's really hard to see outside of that. But releasing those emotions and actually just feeling them, not even releasing them, just feeling them, just owning them, accepting where you're at, and being okay with where you're at. That's huge. If you can do that, that's a big one. And sometimes that's really hard for most people, because we don't want to sit there and feel like crap, We don't want to, a lot of us don't want to be negative Nancy's. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was almost like apologizing for feeling these frustrations. Why am I apologizing? That's how I'm feeling at this very moment. It's okay to feel the feelings that you have, so, it can be a tough life. It's not an easy life, boy. It can be very hard sometimes to process all of these things that we're going through, and especially now, it just feels like it's harder. It feels like it's on this, I don't even know. And maybe all of this is happening because there's something on the other side that we can't see yet. When you have to be stripped of everything that you've known, and when you get stripped down to nothing, And it's easier to be open and see opportunities and see possibilities. When you're in this funk and you're feeling sorry for yourself or feeling like a victim, again, there's nothing wrong with going through those feelings and emotions. You are valid to feel that way in wherever you're at. It's okay to feel all those feelings and to feel, where you're at. There's nothing wrong with feeling. As a matter of fact, that's good. It's to release the feelings that you have and to own them and accept them. The thing is, on the other side of that, what are you going to do for yourself? How are you going to, a lot of these things come up because it's time for a change. There's something transforming around us. And it's hard to see that when you're in a funk, when you're feeling low and down. It's hard to see outside of where you're at. But when you're transforming, there's so much going on the other side of it. It's like there's a preparation going on that we can't see yet. And so, have faith in that. Have faith in the fact that that things are lining up for you. Be in the knowing of that, God's got you. God's got you, and you are in good hands. And it's just timing right now. It's the world thing. There's a lot of fear and anxiety and a lot of things that we just can't see yet. It's hard to see it when you're in this super stressful time. So you got this. I know it's hard. I know it sucks. I'm feeling it too. I am, like I said today, it's been a hard day, and it's hard to make a video when you're feeling down. I want to be uplifting. I want to, bring positivity to the world. And sometimes when you're feeling low and down and out, basically, it's hard to share that because I don't want, people to see me in this light, to see me in this space where I'm feeling yucky and I'm just, not in a good positive energy. But that's life. That is part of the ebbs and flows of life. And sometimes we have to go through the dark and the hardship in order to get to the light. And I think you seek light more when you're in the dark because, when you're stuck in the dark, you get really tired of it. And I think people are seeking for the light. And I think the more that people seek for the light, the more it's going to come to us. The more that it's a collective thing. There's a lot of people that are like, enough of this. This is ridiculous. We're literally letting things control us. And no, that's, we're human beings, and we're freaking creators. We are creators, and we are powerhouses, and we are, if you get in the divine feminine and the divine masculine, both of them, oh my gosh, the things that we can do together. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like, there's no stronger between the feminine and the masculine. We're coming together now. We're coming together now as one. And, maybe that's what's happening. Maybe there's this period of idle time in order for it to rev up and get ready for it. So anyway, that's what I'm believing in, in the Great Awakening. And it is not an easy process to go through the awakening. And people that say, that it is an easy process. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, woohoo, I'm going through this awakening and there's all these great things happening. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling like it's a lot of struggle and it's a lot of hardship that we're going through. I mean, these last couple of years have just been, wow. However, there's still a lot of light around us. There's still a lot of possibility. And there's so much good around us too. It's just, sometimes it's hard to see when you're in that dark, but the light is there. It's right there, and you're pushing through, and you're going to get to it. You're already there. So shine your light bright. trust in yourself, trust in God, trust in the universe, and believe that it's all for a higher purpose. There's a soul purpose that's happening right now for all of us. And again, it's a collective thing. I don't think it's just for each individual. I think it's for everybody. So trust in it. Remember, you matter. You are an incredible human being. And this Great Awakening is just testing us. It's just testing us. But that's okay, because we're strong and we're beautiful and we're light and we're powerful and we're high energy. So have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.